On today's show, the lure of spring life in bluff country. Clear water and quiet days make Minnesota's trout streams.
Here we go, nice fish.
These birds make a splash with their spring dance. A moment people flock to catch even a glimpse. Plus, this greenhouse comes alive to protect our state's native habitat.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
It's time to go fishing. Most folks don't know it, but Minnesota offers anglers more than 1,700 miles of fishable trout water.
And a high concentration of those streams resides in southeastern Minnesota, a place I traveled to visit a guide who's passionate about fly fishing. Minnesota is known for its abundance of lakes, but we have more to brag about than that. To start, we have 3,800 miles of trout streams. 700 miles of those fishable streams are located in southeastern Minnesota.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the Driftless Fly Fishing Company.
We're so excited to be here. Is this the area we're fishing today?
This is actually the whole Driftless area in Minnesota. So it's the Root River watershed and the Whitewater watershed and a lot of other tributaries into the Mississippi.
Prime spot for trout fishing due to clean and cold water year-round.
The glaciers didn't drift down into this area, and when they melted, they created a cold water fisheries. We'll be fishing one of the tributaries to the Root River.
The Root River is rated one of the top 100 trout streams in the country. Guide and instructor Monta Hayner will take you there.
The Driftless Fly Fishing Company is in Preston, which is the trout capital of the world, according to Preston.
Fish with this Orvis-endorsed shop, and they'll provide everything you need, including a fly casting lesson, should you choose.
So I was going to go over the basic cast, the pick up, lay down. Lift, back pause, forward pause, and then down.
If you want to be successful, it's also critical to know what the fish are feasting on.
And one of you has a pheasant tail. And it's made with pheasant tail, like in your
My hat?
feather.
That'll be my lucky fly today.
We're also having caddis hatches. Yeah, and they're one of those indicator species,
Oh, cool.
whether you have clean water or not. So we'll pull up some rocks and I'll show you some of these kind of bugs.
Awesome.
This is a caddis right there, caddis casing.
Wow.
I'm not seeing mayflies. Here's one. Here's one.
Oh, there is.
Yep.
Look at that.
So even if you don't know the names of all the flies, you can either catch insects in the air or pull up rocks and just match what's there and what's in your fly box.
With that, we wade and we fish.
So next one, over to the right a little more. There you go. There's a nice little hole just this side of that other rock. You've hit this a couple times, you've got some good drifts through there, so we move up because there's fish up above looking for food coming down.
Fly fishing is just like they say it is, meditative and serene. Until
So if there's one thing fly fishing teaches you, it's patience. Because I'm having a full-on battle right now with this dead bush.
the little struggles are all part of the experience.
Oh, shoot. It's actually getting the fish and then bringing the fish in that I'm struggling with.
Fishing a top 100 trout stream, you're bound to have some luck.
There we go.
There we go. Nice fish. Guides like Monta make the experience exceptional.
I love to teach people to fly fish, get them out in places like this. When I started doing this, there weren't nearly as many women fly fishing, and it's really nice to see that area growing.
I'm a beginner, and this is so much fun. It just takes time and practice and patience, and I mean, what better place to be than doing it out here in the nature and a gorgeous day?
Some advice for beginners.
You don't learn everything all at once. Fly fishing is a lifetime of learning.
Fishing the Driftless area is so beautiful, time just drifts away.
I just feel like it's really meditative, therapeutic. You're just here with nature, and there really are no rules or places you need to be, except for just here in the moment.
Here we go.
Coming up, get an up-close and personal seat for a most unique spring dance.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Ice Castle Fish House and RV, Leech Lake Area Tourism, and by Coors Light.
It's time to hit the water to document a bird with some serious dancing shoes. Travis Frank introduces you to the Western Grebe.
Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, a freshwater paradise for those who fish, swim, and chase colorful sunsets. But one lake in particular stands out from the rest. Lake Osakis near Alexandria, Minnesota is home to a bird that, let's just say, likes to put on a show.
We are the official Minnesota home of the Western Grebe. For the people that don't know what they are the birds that stand up in the water and run side by side.
Their one-of-a-kind performances can't help but draw a crowd. Volunteers from Alexandria's Let's Go Fishing chapter provide up-close encounters with this annual rite of spring.
We want to make it more popular for people to come and see this bird, get a little bit in touch with nature, and appreciate the wildlife.
Today, they give a special group a well-deserved day on the water.
Initial point was to get people out of the nursing homes. We have a beautiful area here to be able to get people out on the water, get them out in the fresh air. Watch these people enjoy the freedom of being out in the fresh air. How many birds do we see running on the water just because they see a girlfriend? Woo!
Each spring, Western Grebes dance and dance and dance a little more, hoping to attract a mate.
They're just an absolutely awesome bird. What they do in their mating season, it's different than any other bird that we see.
Amazingly, if a grebe cannot walk on water, it means they're not yet ready to reproduce.
There we go. Oh, we got it.
They really do just walk on water.
They dance.
Dancing Western Grebes aren't the only attraction on Lake Osakis.
These birds over to your left here, flying, they are, I believe, black-headed terns.
Captain Earl Anderson enjoys sharing views from birds of every feather.
So it's really exciting, you know, to get out and to see the different type of birds.
So it's gotta feel pretty good to be out on the water right now.
Yeah, but tonight I'll probably go.
I've seen some of the different ones in the weeds up here with the white necks and everything, black and white. I enjoy that.
Despite all these sights, most come for the dance.
There's two runners over there.
Dancing to impress my wife. I wasn't that good.
Western Grebes stand out in other ways too.
They're not north-south flyers. They come from California, Oregon, the West Coast, and come east as far as Minnesota. This lake being one of the latest ones that they stopped at.
Exactly why Lake Osakis has earned a reputation amongst Minnesota birdwatchers.
We don't know of any other lakes that they go farther east of this, so we're assuming that this is about far east as they will go.
Locals like Captain Earl simply cherish these spring days.
We're very fortunate on this lake to have them here. The feeding grounds here is good for them. The whole lake is just perfect for them.
Ideal habitat on Lake Osakis allow these birds to thrive.
Perfect area for the grebe, but in particular is all about the nesting area here.
And it's a perfect area to bring others that appreciate spending days on the water watching birds in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Very wild and very scenic.
Still ahead, a trip back in time and off the grid to chase remote Minnesota trout. But first, a push to take our environment back in time sprouts in this small greenhouse.
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
You know, water quality continues to be a big challenge here in the land of 10,000 lakes and rivers. The news seems not very good these days, until you visit a small greenhouse.
Nature's paintbrush long ago colored Minnesota's landscape. But somewhere, somehow, life got in the way. The Minnesota DNR estimates 99% of our native grasslands have disappeared. 90% of our wetlands are gone. Exactly why this modest West Metro greenhouse means so much.
This order is going to Bush Lake, bulrushes, arrowhead.
Jill Langer picks plants.
Everything that grows in a Minnesota lake.
Greenery native to Minnesota and hand-grown from hand-picked seed.
This is prairie onion.
Jill fills orders, daughter Ella fills pots.
And right now I'm actually doing swamp milkweed, which is kind of my favorite plant.
This is a flowering business. Excuse the pun. Brainstormed to take part of Minnesota back in time. See, all these plants will end up along Minnesota lakes, specifically the lake shores, which is where Jill's husband steps in.
We're providing, a lot of plants, a lot of food source for, bees and butterflies, a lot of habitat for nesting, and then we're also providing those plants to help stabilize the shoreline.
Rob Langer and business partner Bill Bartoge own Natural Shore Technologies.
These sedges do very well in sunnier spots, shadier spots.
A dream to rehabilitate Minnesota's well-worn lakes.
We actually just do one of these.
You can really see on the shoreline here where the plants aren't, it's starting to erode away, just little places like this. So what we're doing on this project is filling those gaps and really trying to stabilize the shoreline from the effects of the waves.
The natives grow into another role, maybe their most important.
What we're doing is we're providing a 15, 20-foot buffer from yard activities and road activities. So all the things that we do, fertilize and mow our lawn and put salt on the road and all those kind of things. If we can have a buffer from that, which we're doing here, those things kind of get filtered out before they get to the lake.
During summer months, those things are primarily nitrogen and phosphorus, two nutrients found in the fertilizers we all use on our lawns and our crops.
That's what causes all the algae blooms in the water. So as much as we can provide a filter before that gets into the water, the cleaner our water will be.
Exactly why Colin Zumwald works on hands and knees doing the dirty work.
The flowers are nice to look at, but the sedges, I think, do a lot of the work.
In 2 years, it's going to be a sea of flowers and sedges. People are going to love it.
Yep, given time to grow, these landscapes flourish. Healthy mini ecosystems good for water, good for people, and good for wildlife. Which takes us back to Natural Shore's other greenhouse.
Usually we say 18 inches apart.
I call it Shirley's house.
This is where I escape. It's nice, plants don't talk back.
Shirley Mock-Koyman runs Natural Shore Technologies retail shop, the spot where people can come buy native plants in smaller doses.
First off, I'm trained as a botanist, so I'm amongst plants. And it's lovely to be able to share the knowledge with the public.
Her current message, flowering plants, good for the birds and especially the bees.
The pollinator situation, it's more and more critical for us to start relearning what natives can do.
Exactly why they're in business. Now, the holders of nature's paintbrush, recoloring one small stroke at a time.
It's a lifestyle that we have really, really enjoyed. It's who we are.
Ooh, starting to rise now.
Straight ahead, an old adventure on the Gunflint Trail. One that has Ron Shera holding on tight.
Double.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Oreo Cookies and Ritz Crackers, Mountain Dew, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back to Y2K.
Yep, to the year 2000, when Ron Shera decided to head up the Gunflint Trail.
Along Minnesota's North Shore, this is just another pine-shrouded lake among dozens of others just as pretty. This one is called Trout Lake, and sometimes Trout Lake becomes a special place along the Gunflint Trail.
There's a big mayfly coming off right there.
When big mayflies hatch on this hidden jewel, fly anglers like Sean Parrish get downright antsy. They call it the hex hatch.
And I missed one when I got it, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Came up for it, huh?
Came up for it.
Time passes easily on a wilderness lake, especially when it's trout feeding time.
Ooh, they're starting to rise now. Ooh, look at that. We're surrounded by trout. There it is.
Jeez.
You called it.
Whoa, double.
Double. All right.
Oop, I think I lost mine.
Did you?
Yeah.
I ain't got mine yet.
I was looking back to see your strike, and all of a sudden my line took off.
It was like somebody turned on a fish switch.
Makes you wonder why anybody wants to fish walleyes, doesn't it? He doesn't want to come this way, that's for sure. No, that one is.
Yeah.
It's 12, 13-incher, I suppose.
You got the trophy today.
These rainbows had become ravenous. When the hexagenia or giant mayfly hatch, it's a flying food banquet to a trout.
Oh,
there we go.
Sounded big.
In fact, he's pulling the boat.
Yeah, he is.
My fishing companion, Sean Parrish, has become a Northwoods anchor. He's an outdoor rider who's seen the city, but has chosen to return to the boondocks to do his riding.
But I still like the North Country. I guess that's really what's in my blood. And I like being near Lake Superior. I like all the outdoor things there are to do here. And just happy here.
That's a good enough reason to stay, huh?
Good enough for me.
Good enough, huh? An afternoon with fighting rainbows? Catch a trout, row a little, catch another. So that's the way this story goes. When timing and luck find you in the boonies, you can catch fish just like an extra.
Well, I guess what I like about this lake is that it's accessible, it's easy to get to, but it's also very wild and very scenic. Yeah, I think there's probably about 4 or 5 dozen lakes that are stocked with trout along the Gunflint Trail, or at least in Cook County.
But on this afternoon, one trout lake was all we needed.
Still one of Minnesota's prettiest destinations.
Yes, Millie, you could get lost up there. Well, that about does it for us. We hope to see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors. Let me see something.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.